strengthens our programming solving skill. So we're back with another question that says that will take 4 grades for a user, and then it will compute the average, and then it will display the 4 grades as it's shown in the screen. So the output should be it says the output should be displayed in the following form. For example, if we enter these grades like 70, 80, 60, and 90, then it will sum these values and then calculate the average. So this is what we are asking. So let's the main problem is this one. So the other one is we can proceed to the next one. So when we consider this problem, let's think about it. So it asks us to enter 4 grades, then we have to calculate the average and then display the result. So now we have to come up with an algorithm in either ways. I mean, either in pseudocode, English like writing, or we have to do it in a flowchart. So let's see at least the flowchart part. So this is the problem. So when we formulate our problem in terms of algorithm, this is what it looks like. So we start, and then we take the input grade 1. So this parallelogram thing, this shape is used for input and an output in a case of a flowchart. So we take an input grade 1, we take another input grade 2, we take another grade input 3, and then we take another grade input 4. Sorry, this is a mistake, grade 4 should be. Then in order to calculate the average, we have to sum them, right? So we will do a summation of grade 1 plus grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. Then we'll store it in sum. It doesn't mean, by the way, sum is equivalent to the 4 grades. It doesn't mean like that. But rather, we add the 4 grades, and on the right side, from the right side of the equal sign, and then we store this or we assign this with the left side, which is sum. So we have a sum, then the average is sum over 4. So this is the average, and then we'll display the average. So this is a calculation, that's why it's a rectangular shape. So when there is some calculation and everything, we use a rectangular shape. We use this kind of shape for input and output, and then some kind of another for decision making. Okay, so this is the problem. So when we write a program, we write a program like we represent this grade 1, some kind of storing thing we'll create, that's called a variable. So we'll create a variable for grade 1, and then we'll take an input using scene. We will have a variable for grade 2, I mean a place where we have to store when the user enters the input. So that's called a variable. So we'll have a grade 3. The same, we'll create a variable to store, or a storage thing. By the way, the storage must have some kind of thing. The storage could be, I mean, the thing that we're going to store could be a liquid or a solid thing or a gas, right? In the world, real world, in programming, we consider that in terms of data types. So the data could be an integer type, a floating point, or double. They are the same, almost the same, and with a big difference. Or it could be a character symbol like A, B, something like this. For example, we could say section A, grade A, kind of like this. Or it could be a string, I mean a character of strings. Anyway, we'll consider the integer for the moment, as the question says, because it says we expect the input will be an integer division. So we'll consider this one. The result could be, and then finally we'll sum, and then we'll display the result. Okay, on the next part we will see the C++ equivalent solution. Plus it says, what if the user enters something different from an integer or different from a number? It says, in addition to that, even the problem says the user must enter a value between 0 and 100 for each grade, because it's obvious a grade must be between 0 and 100, right? There is no negative grades, and mostly there is no grade above 100. So we will consider about it. So think about it. write some program, and then we'll come back together.